and a very warm welcome to all of you. I'm Meha Bhardwaj-Alter and this is Game On. This is where you get the latest from the world of sports, and we've got to begin with the upcoming Champions Trophy. Yes, after 8 years, Champions Trophy is back and fans can expect a wide open one-day international tournament in the absence of an overwhelming favourite. The tournament, featuring the top 8 teams in the ODI format, was discontinued by the International Cricket Committee after the 8th edition in 2017 when Sarfaraz Ahmed's Pakistan beat India in the final. Pakistan are therefore holders as well as the hosts as they stage their first global tournament since the 1996 World Cup. Even if political tensions mean that India will play all their matches, including the March 9 final, should they make it in Dubai. Now, reigning ODI World Champions, Australia are among several countries sending weakened contingents, with Steve Smith standing in as captain of a squad featuring a second-string pace attack, regular skipper Pat Cummins, fellow quick Josh Hazlewood, and all-rounder Mitchell Marsh were all ruled out by injury, while their left-arm quick Mitchell Starc, he withdrew from the tournament for personal reasons, and all-rounder Marcus Stoinis, he has quit ODIs altogether. Sri Lanka did not make the cut for the Champions Trophy, but nevertheless handed the Australians a humbling reality check in the run-up to the tournament with a 2-0 series drubbing. Reigning T20 World Champions India, they've made the finals of the last 3 ICC events, and Rohit Sharma's team signalled their fine form by winning 7 of their 8 limited overs matches against England. Runners-up in 2023 ODI World Cup at home soil, India boasts one of the world's most destructive batting lineups, but will be without their pace spearhead Jasprit Bumrah, who has been laid low by a back injury. Seamer Mohammad Shami's impressive return to action in the home series against England was a big relief for Rohit, who will also expect vital contributions from spin all-rounders Akshar Patel and Ravinder Jadeja. Then we move on to New Zealand. They will fancy their chances of claiming the title, having won the Tri-Nation Trophy in Pakistan, beating the hosts in the final of a warm-up tournament also featuring 1998 champions South Africa. Mitchell Santner's Black Cap side, they went through the tournament unbeaten and now have a fair idea of the kind of conditions they will face in the Champions Trophy. England were unable to defend the T20 or the ODI World Cup under Jos Buttler, and now they are now licking their wounds after a tour of India where they were blanked 3-0 in the 50 overs matches. They have already lost the services of Jacob Bethel through a hamstring injury, while their bowling trio of Bryden Carse, Jamie Overton and Jofra Archer, they're all nursing some fitness issues. Now, giant killers Afghanistan, they will make their Champions Trophy debut following their 6th place finish in the ODI World Cup in 2023 when they beat former champions England, Pakistan and Sri Lanka. Pakistan, who face New Zealand in the tournament opener in Karachi on Wednesday, are hoping a successful Champions Trophy will pave the way open for more such tournaments as the country batters perceptions that it is not safe for the visitors. Okay, joining us now, before we go ahead and tell you what is exactly happening in Pakistan in terms of the preparation and how prepared is the country, Jamie Alter. He is a cricket analyst, a writer, YouTuber, actor, a man who dons many hats. Thank you so much, Jamie, for taking the time out. I've got to ask you this. I'm really excited about this just because this is, one of those tournaments where you don't have overwhelming favorites. And that's why this becomes so much more interesting, because you don't know what to expect. And more than that, one big upset and you could be out of the tournament. The format is such. So yeah, it's an exciting one, and it'll be difficult to predict who really goes through to the finals, if not the semi-finals.
Yes, good evening, Meher. Good evening, viewers. Absolutely, it's a very condensed format. You get 3 matches, extreme pressure to win 2 of those matches. You win 2, you're virtually guaranteed a spot in the semi-final. But it's unlike the one-day World Cup where teams. Yes, there's a couple less teams in this Champions Trophy, but unlike the World Cup, T20 and ODI, you're not hopping from venue to venue. You're not just playing in Pune one day and then 3 days later you're off to Dharamshala. For India, you're parked in Dubai, where you will have been for at least 5 days before the tournament starts. So you just have to understand the conditions, understand your opponents. The teams which are based in Pakistan and are in Group A will have to, of course, fly from Lahore, Karachi, wherever it is, to Dubai and back. A little bit more strenuous for them. But given the fact that there's so many concerns, valid I would say, from so many current and former players, former board members we've seen speak out against the heavy schedule, the future of one-day cricket, too much T20 cricket. I'm very, very keen to see how this format, forget who wins it. I'm sure you'll ask me that question as the show goes on. I'm just very keen to see how the audience, both in Pakistan, where frankly they were nowhere near full houses during the Tri-Series last week, and the fans in Dubai, which otherwise is a fantastic venue to host cricket because you can throw in the whole tourism angle and have a nice 3-day weekend, watch some cricket, do some shopping, enjoy the marina. I'm very keen to see, against the backdrop of, as I said, valid concerns over where ODI cricket is headed, how the fans and the players, because we've heard a few of them off the record mumble about the ODI format. So I'm very keen to see what the Champions Trophy does, if anything, to re-energize all of us as we tune into one-day cricket.
100%. Okay, now let's look at both the groups. I'm going to begin with A, which has India, Pakistan. It has New Zealand and Bangladesh. Jamie, let's talk about India now. My thing is that India has the firepower to go undefeated in this tournament all the way to the final. But what are the chances of that happening given what we saw in the 2023 ODI World Cup? And why I say this is that there is no Jasprit Bumrah, who's a game changer, who will just come in and save you when, you're down and out. So your pace attack is inexperienced. But other than that, you look at the batting, you look at the depth in their spin attack, this team does have all that one team needs to go all the way and possibly win it.
Yes, so here's my take on India. I'm very optimistic, Meha, about India's chances for several reasons. One, like I said, the condensed nature of this tournament. They don't have the pressure of traipsing all across the country like they did 15 odd months ago, with the pressure of meeting fans in the lobby, at airports, everywhere they go, wherever they went 15 odd months ago, the team was under immense pressure. They don't have that here. Of course, there's traveling media and there's traveling fans, a lot of Indians in Dubai, but it cannot be compared to the pressure that Rohit Sharma and his team would have felt when they went across 9-10 different venues in 2023. And of course, it is an understatement, Meha, to say that not having Jasprit Bumrah is a massive blow to this team. But you look at the bowling, I still feel just purely on this 8-team Champions Trophy, where India will play all of its matches in Dubai, they do not, and I'm sure this is slightly unpopular opinion, they do not need Jasprit Bumrah to win only this Champions Trophy. Mohammad Shami has come back after 14 months. He's barely clocking 135 kilometers per hour, but look at the man's experience when it comes to ICC events. He's 11 wickets shy of the next best bowler when it comes to ODI World Cups. With 55 wickets, Mohammad Shami is India's most successful fast bowler at World Cups by a long shot. He's done well in Champions Trophies. He's done well in T20s. So yes, this latest, or I can say the last version of Mohammad Shami we're seeing is nowhere near the best. But he doesn't have to be anywhere near his best. Take it from me in writing. If Mohammad Shami is 50% as good as he was during the last one-day World Cup, India have very little to worry about. Arshdeep Singh has only played, 9 ODIs? You can say, maybe a bit rough, but on the basis of his success in T20s, I think he's a good asset. He's a left armer. We need a left armer. Then you have Harshit Rana, only 3 matches old, but there's a reason why they've gone for him over Mohammad Siraj. It's the express pace he has, a bit of aggression, and then you have a man who, when he's fit, Meha, I believe he's the envy of every single team in the world, Hardik Pandya. So yes, perhaps you could have done away with the fifth spinner and brought in an additional fast bowling option, maybe a Siraj or maybe a seam bowling all-rounder. I still think if everyone stays fit, these 4 fast bowlers should be good enough. Plus, you look at the spinners India have, 5 very different spinners. It is not anywhere near a World Cup winning team without Bumrah, but I feel for the Champions Trophy, which frankly, there's just not enough good teams in it, India should be just fine to cruise into the semi-finals.
Absolutely. And the fact that it's not happening in one of the SENA countries. So here you've got to have spinners who will play a huge role. The reason why India have gone in with that kind of depth when it comes to their spin. Now, Jamie, we'll talk about the other teams, and I want to talk specifically about Pakistan and whether, the pressure of hosting, will that undo what they're trying to achieve, which is win and or defend their title, or will it boost their confidence? Talk about that. But first, let's find out how the Pakistan cricket fans are taking this whole thing. How are they looking forward to the Champions Trophy? Of course, the excitement is huge for Pakistani cricket fans as the South Asian country prepares to host its first major multi-country cricket tournament in nearly 30 years. Pakistan's hoping hosting this tournament will help erase the worries of instability in the country and restore confidence in it as a tourism and investment destination. In fact, there are pictures of players fans playing street cricket that came out, and I was looking at them, and it seemed like, of course, the fans are excited. The Champions Trophy will be the first major tournament to be held in Pakistan since 1996. They will feature the home side and teams from New Zealand, England, Australia, Afghanistan, South Africa, Bangladesh and India. Like we just told you, India and Pakistan, they fought 3 wars since their partition following independence from Britain in 1947. But their intense rivalry, that has meant that cricket matches between the two are among the most watched sporting contests in the world. But they only play each other at multi-nation events, and in this case, India refused to travel to Pakistan, and hence all their matches will be played in Dubai. Now, the Champions Trophy kicks off on 19th of February. It comes to Pakistan as the country battles 2 insurgencies and a political crisis that has sent its former Prime Minister and their World Cup winning captain Imran Khan to jail. But the government and Pakistan's cricket board, they believe the elite tournament of one-day games featuring the top 8 teams in the world presents one of the most potent image-building opportunities in decades.
मैं इस चीज़ को लेकर बड़ा खुश हूँ कि इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट तो पहले भी हो चुकी है, लेकिन एक बहुत बड़ा टूर्नामेंट हमारे पास होने जा रहा है कि होपफुली कि इंशाल्लाह अल्लाह पाक इसको कामयाबी दे और बहुत अच्छे से होगा। शाहीन क्रिकेट के लिए बहुत अच्छा है, पाकिस्तान के लिए बहुत अच्छा है।
जहाँ तक इंडिया का ताल्लुक है कि पाकिस्तान में आके नहीं खेल रही है, वो उनका अपना एक डिसीजन है, पर हम डिसीजन को वेलकम नहीं करेंगे। अगर वो पाकिस्तान के साथ पाकिस्तान में आके खेलते तो इससे पाकिस्तान की क्रिकेट के शायकीन के जज्बात और ज़्यादा आते और दोनों मुल्कों में एक दूसरे से प्यार मोहब्बत बढ़ता।
काफ़ी एक्साइटेड है जी, आउट ऑफ कंट्री से भी लोग आ रहे हैं और एक बहुत अच्छा साइन है ये। बल्कि इंडिया को भी चाहिए कि पाकिस्तान को सपोर्ट करे, हमसाया ममालिक है उसको चाहिए कि पाकिस्तान में आके खेले।
Okay, Jamie, let's talk about the hosts then. Pakistan, I mean, this is a huge moment really for them, given what happened, the last time. I just remember visuals of the Sri Lankan team being, picked up from the middle of the stadium in Lahore and taken back to Sri Lanka after that bus attack on their team. And so this is a huge moment where you're going to have a lot of visitors. Hopefully, we still don't know what are the kind of fans who are going to travel. And like you said, we don't know whether the stadiums are completely sold out. We'll wait and watch out for that. But the fact that this is a huge moment, how is this going to impact them in terms of their confidence? Is this added pressure? Because Pakistanis fans can be brutal. I mean, we've seen that even with Indian fans, but they can be brutal. And so, for the tournament being played in Pakistan, how big would this be for them in terms of handling that pressure? Or do you think that, if you're going to have just fans there who are going to support you, that'll add to that confidence for these guys?
I mean, obviously, every team enters the Champions Trophy wanting to win it. It's been 12 years since India won an ICC event in the one-day format. But you could argue, Meha, that no team wants to win this more than Pakistan, because since the last time, 2017, when Sarfaraz Ahmed's team beat Pakistan, in the intervening 8 years, Pakistan do not have a single ICC trophy to show for. The last 2 one-day World Cups, be it 19, be it 23, they were knocked off in the first round. They failed to make the semi-finals. 2021 T20 World Cup during COVID time, many thought they'd be the team to win the trophy, but Australia, or Matthew Wade, as it were, knocked them off in the semi-finals. And then the next year, 2022, again, COVID was still around, and when this team made it to the final, and they got beaten by England. So they have a lot of on-field issues. Then, like you rightly mentioned as well in the package that just was shown, there's a political tension. There's all that Pakistan, the nation, has been through. Even if we just put that aside, I think Pakistan, the PCB, the one which was in power during the build-up to the Asia Cup of 23 and the PCB of now, because of all the embarrassment and the stinging criticism that the PCB has faced with not getting venues ready in time, the hybrid model not once but twice now. There's a lot riding on the success of not just the Pakistan team but the hosting of it. 1996, what is that? 29 years since Pakistan as a nation last hosted a major event. That's a heck of a long time to wait for it. And of course, we all know why there's been a certain delay. They were supposed to hold the Champions Trophy in 2009, but that was the same year, as you mentioned, the attack on the Sri Lankan team. So it's taken 15, 16 years for the confidence in the ICC and touring countries to say, you know what, we can come to Pakistan and play not just bilateral cricket, but a major event like the Champions Trophy. That said, I do not have much faith in Pakistan's on-field abilities. No real world-class spinner to speak of. A reliance on Fakhar Zaman up front, Babar Azam, makeshift opener, not really working. Saim Ayub, just when he started to convince the world that he could be a fantastic talent, I think he sprained his ankle or foot, so he's out. The fast bowling, you never know if Naseem Shah, Haris Rauf, and Afridi click. They could win, 5 matches in a row, but you just never know what kind of Pakistan team played that turns up to play.
Okay,
So
I'm kind of running out of time, so I've got to go through a lot more teams. So quickly, we'll get to Group B. But is New Zealand really the best team at the moment in the way they've been performing, coming into it high on confidence, just look like a well-balanced team on paper? They've got batters who can play spin well. They've just beaten Pakistan. Maybe it's their time.
Look, you can never discount any Black Caps team here when it comes to going into an ICC tournament. They've often spoiled India's party. They've spoiled South Africa's party. They've spoiled a lot of parties. Looking at the fact that, they've been sitting in Pakistan for 2 weeks, won all 3 of their matches, including the final. The final was played in Karachi, where, day after tomorrow, they're going to open their campaign. This, to me, is the team along with which from India is going to go straight to the semi-finals from Group A.
Okay, then let's talk about Group B. Australia, South Africa, Afghanistan, England. And this is still, for me, the group of death. I know it's a depleted Australia and England are woefully out of form. But having said that, given the format, any 2 teams can get through.
Absolutely. Look, on paper right now, you look at Joss Butler's team, which just won 1 out of 8 white ball matches, 5 T20s, 3 ODIs in India, and you say this team doesn't have an Ice Cube's chance of hell. But as you just said, it's a shortened version. If things start to click, if Harry Brook clicks, if Butler clicks, if the openers click, if Adil Rashid bowls the way we all know he could, we're talking about England's greatest white ball spinner of all time. If the pace in that attack starts to do the job, this team could easily win 2 out of 3. But I'm not optimistic when I look at England. They have sort of gone off the grid, off the boil when it comes to one-day cricket. They look flat out disinterested in the ODIs against India. And despite the fact that South Africa are majorly depleted, Australia are the most worst hit team, I still don't see England going forward from Group B.
Which is my other thing with Australia, Jamie. We saw what they did in the 2023 World Cup, the way they started, and they got into the tournament after having lost some 5 matches in a row. They had injury issues even then. Marnus Labuschagne was a late entry in, I still remember. And they won then, 8 to 9 matches in a row, 9 matches all the way to winning the final.
Look, history says that whenever Australia has gone into an ICC event, a major tournament, losing the series just before, they've always lifted that trophy. So they've just been smashed. A B team has been smashed by Sri Lanka, but those are very, very different conditions. That said, Meha, I have never seen a weaker Australian team. Pat Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood, Stoinis, Marsh, a weaker Australian team enter any one-day ICC tournament, and they have no business even being in discussions for the Final Four. But because the reasons you just mentioned, and despite being depleted, look, they're going to get batting-friendly tracks in Pakistan, which they did not encounter in Sri Lanka. So looking at the depleted playing field in Group B, and just the fact that these Aussies, they have, I mean, you've been to Australia. Sport is in their DNA. So 100%. Yes, the worst team on paper in the tournament, but they're Aussies. I cannot discount them from the Final Four race.
100%. You cannot write them off. Jamie Alter, it's always so much fun talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us here. Well, that's all about Champions Trophy. But just before we go, News 9's nationwide football talent search, the Indian Tigers and Tigresses talent hunt. It's igniting passion across India. See how the Mumbai chapter is unearthing the next generation of football stars. Vibrant green of Mumbai's Orchids School ground became a stage for dreams on Saturday. Indian Tigers and Tigresses Talent Hunt, which as I said is a News 9 initiative. It drew a sea of young football enthusiasts hailing from Maharashtra, Gujarat and even Hyderabad. These budding athletes, they poured their hearts onto the field, each hoping to catch the eye of scouts and coaches there. The air buzzed with the energy of youthful ambition, punctuated by the cheers of proud parents who had journeyed from far and wide, a testament to unwavering support fueling these aspiring footballers' journeys. The energy there was electric. Hundreds of young athletes, each with a dream in their eyes, have showcased their incredible football skills today. From the bustling city streets to the quiet fields of rural Maharashtra, talent has converged on this very ground. There were some brilliant displays of agility, precision and passion. And of course, parents there, they watched with pride. They witnessed their children pour their hearts out, all in the hopes of catching the selectors' attention.
And I started to play football at the age of 6. I started in school and then I joined football as a hobby, but now it's my passion. My favorite player is Neymar. He's a Brazilian player. And my favorite Indian footballer is Bhaichan Bhutia, as he was a good ex-captain for Team India.
स्पोर्ट्स में आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं तो गेम स्किल्स के साथ स्ट्रेंथ भी ज़रूरी है, और स्ट्रेंथ मिलती है न्यूट्रिशियस खाना खाने से, जिसका सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट है प्रोटीन। ये याद कर लीजिए और कहीं लिख लीजिए कि हर किसी को हर दिन 1 ग्राम प्रोटीन पर केजी बॉडी वेट लेना होता है। आपकी डेली रिक्वायरमेंट पूरी करने के लिए इंडिया की सबसे ट्रस्टेड फूड ब्रांड अमूल ने लॉन्च किए हैं हाई प्रोटीन प्रोडक्ट्स, जैसे बटर मिल्क, लस्सी, मिल्क शेक, मिल्क, पनीर, दही। ये प्रोडक्ट्स बहुत टेस्टी है और अफोर्डेबल भी है। सिर्फ अमूल की वेबसाइट shop.amul.com पे ये मिलेंगे। तो आपको टाइगर एंड टाइग्रेस जैसी स्ट्रेंथ अपने खेल में लानी है तो आज ही ये अमूल वेबसाइट चेक करके हाई प्रोटीन प्रोडक्ट्स घर पे मंगवा लें एट 0 डिलीवरी कॉस्ट।